Hey everybody, I'm gonna give everybody a minute to get in here before I start, like usual. I hope everybody's Saturday night is entertaining. If not, you're gonna be stuck here with me. Yay! Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I'll wait till it says somebody's in here to let me know. I think it's okay though. You can't trust StreamYard. I think it's good though. But like I said, welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope everybody's Saturday's, going good. No drama and things. Give everybody a little bit to come in. Hey, Lady Fresh. I'm glad to see you here. Are you guys on the road or are you actually able to relax a little bit tonight? You poor things. You guys are always on the go. Like I said, I think it's cool that you guys get to do it together, though. That's probably the only good thing about it. I'm going to get into the whole pipeline mess tonight because I got questions. Was going to do it earlier, but they had the King Troll thing. And then Lady Snoop had went live, but she pushed hers back, so I was like, I'll just wait till tonight when everybody else is done. Gonna get started in just a second. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Whoever comes in. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link down too, just in case so I don't get started rambling and forget. That way it's already down here. Anybody wants to come up and talk. Thank you, Lady Fresh. Yay. Lady Fresh, you're my good luck. Every time, like, when you don't show up, I swear that's when I have, like, these horrible StreamYard issues. There was one time, it took me, like, 8 minutes, I think it was. I had to go back out, come in, go back out, come in, go back out, come in. I restarted everything. It was horrible. I probably need to quit, like, talking about it before I talk it into fruition. Me and my bad luck, that would suck. All right. Gonna start on my stuff. Lady Fresh, have you guys heard anything about that pipeline thing? Or what happened? I was following it a little bit, but I wasn't like into it. But I had thought about something earlier, I think it was yesterday or the day before. And I was like, ooh, I want to ask everybody how they feel about that. But I can't tell you yet because then that's at the end. Hold on 1 second, guys. Let me get my papers and stuff. Okay, good, good. Well, you get to hear me talk about it. Woo! It's pretty much kind of boring, right? Well, I mean, I thought it was kind of boring. That's why I had been looking at it, but not really, you know, it wasn't anything I wanted to really do a show about until I thought about my question. Okay. Where should I start? Well, I'll say, like I had said earlier, that I'm pretty sure everybody's heard about it, even if you don't really know, what occurred. But I'll do kind of a quick rundown. The pipeline that was affected, right? It stretches from Texas to New Jersey, and it was cyber attacked and shut down on Friday. Everybody started freaking out, which, it was all over the news, and people started overbuying fuel to where all the gas stations were running out of fuel. And by the way, with all the money that these, oil or gas companies make, isn't it kind of unresponsible that there was not a good enough safetyware or spyware or whatever they call it to prevent something like this? I just wanted to put that on the back burner because when I was in the army, right, we already basically knew that like the next attack was either going to be biological, like, like say COVID, or cyber, which would attack either the oil or the power supplies. Like we knew that. That's what we were talking about. That's what we were waiting for. And this was, some years ago. So I don't know why they didn't have some sort of plan in order in case that would happen. Usually with attacks or hacks that happen like this, they spend years and years and years preparing for stuff like that. So, if I had a company like that, I know that I'd at least have something in place because you're going to end up losing a lot more money like these people did. They always end up dropping the ball. But let's see. Well, and then look, I bet you after this happened, they're gonna get like some super security thing put on their, computer so it won't happen again, or it'll be a lot harder for a hacker to get through to it. But let me move on. The pipeline that was affected, like I said, that stretched from Texas to New Jersey. It was 5,500 miles. And, like I said before, people were freaking out all over the US. I know in Florida, I noticed the same news channels that were causing people to freak out. They were like, oh, the pipeline shut down. We don't know what's going to happen. This is horrible. And all this and that. For a couple days or about 3 days, they were doing that. And that was causing people down here to overbuy the fuel. Fuel prices were shooting up because it was getting low. And then it turned around, and like by the fourth day, right, the same channels were telling people to chill, don't overbuy your gas because our petrol supply was not going to be affected. And that really kind of pissed me off because after the media sits there and gets everybody freaked the hell out, has everybody running around with their head cut off, getting gas like it's about a hurricane that's going to show up, then they're like, oh, don't worry about it because Florida's not affected. This is a pipeline that only stretches from here to here, and that the rest of the, everybody else is okay. So that kind of, I hate the media when they do shit like that. They do that just to get, like we talk about on here, views and numbers. And, oh, let me check the comments real quick. Hold on, guys. I see you guys in here. La, 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 la. Hold on, let me look. Yeah, Lady Fresh in Georgia. I heard about that. Yeah. Yes, it's news. Yep. Hey, Dre. How's your Saturday? Hey, King Ramon. Hey, Laura. Yeah, people, you're in Jersey and people were freaking out. See, now, Dre, that's interesting, right? Because they said, hey, boy, they said that the pipeline that was affected, it ran from Texas to Jersey. It didn't say like what part or anything, but that's like what I was able to find out. So I think that Jersey, was affected. But I know that like Lady Fresh was saying about Georgia, that's like I said, everybody was freaking out. I mean, there were like I said, it's what happens when a hurricane is coming. People will literally, you'll be in lines at the gas station because people are buying so much gas. And it's so, it kind of backfires because then when you get hit with the hurricane and you're out of power and you need to get gas for a generator, or you know, you use your gas, people will have to drive like hours out of town. Some people go out of state just to get gas to run like their generator and shit. It's crazy. It's not that serious for me. I'm not doing all that, but people do it. um but yeah, the gas thing is crazy. But yeah, the media hyped all of that up. It was wild. And like I said, I know you guys, the way you guys are talking, you saw it. So the media was going ape shit. And then they turned around, and in Florida, like I said, they were like, oh, it's okay, chill, after everybody's out of gas. So, let's see. What else? Oh, that's one thing I wanted to bring up too before okay. How can I kind of blend this in with what I'm telling you guys? Mm, okay, this is gonna end up making sense with what I'm talking about, but it's gonna kind of seem out of place for now, but okay. If you guys haven't heard about this before, right? In the military, or the army at least, like when you're getting ready to go overseas, or if you're doing some sort of, you know, classes to prep you for, you know, war situations or anything like that, um, they teach you, like you wouldn't do this anyway, to do anything and everything not to be taken like, you know, POW or prisoner of war, right? You know, you don't want to be taken no matter what you do. Like I said, that's common sense. A big reason for this though is because our government, no matter who you are, which I don't know, if somebody high enough got taken, I think they would probably do this, but they teach us that no matter who you are, no matter what rank you are, no matter what money you have, our government does not negotiate with terrorists, right? At all, period, point blank. Like they tell you, if you know, your family, you know, wants you back, it doesn't matter. Like if you don't get released from these people that take you, um, you know, you're fucked basically. And you know, they kind of tell us to prepare for that shit. There's a few reasons for this though, right? Um, One would be the government figures that if they do negotiate with you know, terrorist kidnappings or anything like that, that ambushes and kidnappings would escalate. And of course that's never a good thing. You don't want that to happen. um Ooh, oh, I'm coming up with all these ideas. Okay, let me tell you guys too, most places overseas, right, where we have like a military presence or a base, there's jobs that civilian companies go over there and do for the military. So usually it's supply truck driving, you know, things of that nature. Um, a lot of us in the military talk about when we get out of the military, we're going to go over, you know, wherever you pick to go or wherever you get accepted, and work overseas because you end up making hazard pay most of the time, which is like double or triple what you normally would make, right? So you're over there, you're a civilian, but you're working for the military. Um, and you know, the hazard pay is because it's in a war zone. So, you know, but you know, if nothing happens to you, that sounds horrible. But if you get to work and you make it back okay and everything, you're gonna have a shit ton of money. Like a lot of people do that. And when they're over there, you don't spend your money on anything really. So if you eat on base, you get it for free and all that other type of stuff. So all you're doing is saving all that money. So it's a good opportunity, but you're taking a risk at the same time. But we talk about going and doing that, you know, all the time. I want to say that to let you guys know, right, that if you're working as a civilian for the military and you get kidnapped, right, like I talked about a second ago, if you get kidnapped while you're in the military, you know, you got to kind of get your own ass out of there yourself. Nobody's going to really come and, you know, get you unless You know, they're not going to negotiate any kind of money thing, but if they can send somebody in to kind of maybe get you out of there, they'll do it. It's case by case with them. But if you're a civilian over there and you get kidnapped, even though in the military we're taught to protect you guys, you know, over even us sometimes, you're going to be shit out of luck just like you are if you're in the military, because there are no negotiations. Okay. There was a movie I watched a while ago, right, called Buried. If you guys haven't seen that, you should get it because it explains it perfect. That movie gave me anxiety, but it was so good. It talks about exactly what I'm talking about right now, right? There was oh, I don't want to tell you. Just go watch the movie Buried if you guys can find it. But there was actually a reporter some years back that ended up being taken. And the military, his family, and the FBI were all involved in this. And I remember that his parents kept trying to tell the FBI, like, we've got the money, we want to get our son back, can we talk to the terrorists directly, like, blah blah blah. And they were going through the embassy and all this, stuff was going on. I felt so bad for the parents because the FBI basically told them, and they were dead ass wrong for this, but they told them, just wait a little bit. We'll be able to get him back. You don't have to come out of pocket with the money, and they basically lied to this family. And because the FBI kept on telling them that, they felt more at ease, and to make a long story short, the son ended up being killed, and the government just went about its day. It wasn't, the family can't really sue the government because you take a risk when you go over there, whether you're over there working as a civilian, whether you're over there in the military, whether you're over there as a reporter. You're the risks that it's a possibility you could be killed over there. So there wasn't really anything the family could do about it. But that was an example of when that happens. The government, would not negotiate. They wouldn't, even when his family was going to pay the ransom. And if I remember right, I think the family, I'll have to check on that because that was some years ago, but the family was trying to change the law to where if the family wanted to talk to the terrorists or negotiate with the terrorists behind the government's back, they could do so. So I don't know, but I felt so bad for the mom and dad. But keep that on the back burner. Because what happened with this pipeline situation, right? The hackers were demanding a payment, a ransom. And the company, of course, right? They were advised by the FBI not to pay this ransom. I want to say the ransom was, oh gosh, they didn't give an actual number amount, but it was multi-million. That's what I was able to find. Well, the company ended up saying fuck it, and they paid them. So I don't know how they paid them. Like, I'm pretty sure it was, over online transfer or something like that. But yeah, that oil company ended up paying multi-million dollars, and soon after, the line slowly began to start working. Now, one of the things about the hack that they did, right? The hackers, they got a hold of some really valuable files from this oil company, right? And they encrypted the files to where the oil company couldn't even read or use their own files. And this turned around and stopped the pipeline because it's all digital now. And that was the way they were able to stop the pipeline, was they encrypted their own information. And then they were like, look, if you want us to give your information back so you run your pipeline, pay us. And they did. And everybody's kind of over here, what do you call it? Kind of clenching your teeth, because when you pay something like that, you don't know if it's really going to go through and they're going to do what they said they would do and give your shit back, or if they're just going to, run off with the stuff. like I had said, the pipeline is working slowly now. And the only thing that I could find was they said that it should be back to normal within a few days. But I kind of think, like, wouldn't that be crazy if they only gave a certain information back, but the company doesn't want to talk about it because they're going to feel stupid because they paid all that damn money. But we won't know for a while if that, who knows. Okay. But yeah, they paid it. Now, one thing, we have oil over here. We have oil all over here. But our government, you know, they want to use everybody else's oil and save ours, which I guess makes sense. You know, why use up all of our oil resources when we could use up everybody else's oil resources and save ours, right? Just in case we had to have it. So, you know, if you guys didn't know that, now you know, but we do have a lot of oil resources over here. You know, if the situation became truly really horrible, we have our own resources. But people freaked out anyway. Ooh, the hackers that are responsible for this, right? They were on the dark web, by the way. They were on the dark web and they called themselves okay, they called themselves the dark side. I thought that was kind of silly, but it makes me think of Star Wars. But they called themselves the dark side, right? Oh, and they were smart enough to where they had protected their own hardware, and allegedly they've got it encrypted to where they're trying to sell it to other people. And, you know, like, they're basically saying, like, look, we were able to pull this off, and you know, they don't know who we are, so if you want to do something really horrible to the US or anywhere else, buy our software and nobody can trace you, and you can get millions of dollars for ransom and whatever. Which is, that's fucked up, right? Because not only did they do what they did to us, but now they're trying to sell it. So think about if other people get the shit and then they hit, like, our electric, you know, our electric power supply. I mean, that could go really bad really quickly. So hopefully, I don't know. Maybe they're selling it for a lot of money and people won't be able to buy it. I don't know. I hope so. I don't want to think of it getting worse. But yeah, they protected their own ransom hardware and they're trying to sell it to other people. I guess they, you know, the FBI was able to see that on the dark web. And, you know, our government may be crazy, but if they have to do detective work, they're going to do detective work, right? They were able to trace this group to Russia. Okay. But as of today, this group, Dark Side, is allegedly not connected to the Russian government. Okay. That's what's been released, that it was traced to Russia, but they're independent. They're not connected to Russian government. And that makes a big difference. But okay, let me read this to you guys. They ended up making a statement right before they ended up they dismantled their dark web page. So that's gone now, but they had made a statement and they said, and think about this because I'm going to kind of come back to this. This is quote unquote what they had put. So if it doesn't make sense or, you know, whatever. They had written, "We are apolitical. We do not participate in geopolitics. Do not need to tie us with a defined government and look for other motives. Our goal is to make money and not creating problems for society." I'll come back to that because it's kind of a lot in one thing, but it's kind of funny how they say that the goal is to make money. They're not tied to any kind of geopolitics, which means, you know, politics all over. And they're not creating problems for society, but yet they took down a pipeline which created problems for society. Anyway. And after they had done that statement, like I said, they dismantled their dark web page. Oh, guys, and I had never heard of this. If you guys did, let me know. I was able to dig and I found out that in the past, right? This is not some new shit. Apparently, in the UK, in the past, I couldn't find out exactly when because I guess it happens every now and then still to this day. But in the UK, in the past, hospitals, police forces, and local councils, which I guess is like the UK is kind of like their oh what would it would be like our Congress maybe something like that, judge officials and things. Okay, so the hospitals, police forces, and local councils have all been hit with hacks over there before. So it's new to us, but apparently they've hit the UK before. And some of the hacks that were done in the UK were traced back to Russia also. So remember that. Oh, shoot. Do I have somebody in the back? Hold on, guys. Sorry. I'm running my mouth here so I don't forget about anything. Let me check. Hey, Fresh Brown. Hey, Roy. Hey, Pamela. I thought it said somebody was back. Okay, I'm going to keep going, guys. It said somebody was back there, but then nobody's back there. So let me keep going. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Okay. Then I'll read the comments really quick. I just want to get through this real quick so we can talk about it. But yeah, apparently this was done in the UK in the past, right? I can't imagine hacking a hospital. Like, that's horrible. That's where when I said earlier that like it could get much worse, they shouldn't be negotiating with these people because okay, that's going to be discussed though. Okay, right. So in the UK, like I said, I was able to find out that they've been doing that. These hackers have done it before. They were also traced back to Russia. But I guess the UK didn't want to look really, they didn't want to look bad. So it wasn't thrown out in the world news type of deal. But it's coming out now because of what happened to us. Now, the way that they are saying that the FBI traced it to Russia, but it's not linked to the Russian government. In my opinion, I'm kind of like, well, it's not, it hasn't been traced to the Russian government yet, right? Because if remember the thing that I told you guys that they said, right? Their quote, their statement, it almost seems like they're trying to throw the lead off, right? Because they say we're apolitical, we don't participate in geopolitics. It says, but their own words, do not tie us with a defined government and look for other motives. To me, that's saying, hey, just in case you get on the right trail, it's not this, so look somewhere else because that's not it. It's just weird how they put that in there. Like, normally when you hear about groups like this, they might be like, oh yeah, we're tree huggers and screw the government and all this and that. They just come out and say it. This statement that they made was just it just sounds like it's trying to throw people off the scent of the trail, in my opinion. It's just strange to me. Let me read some of your guys' comments. Hold on. Oh my God, King Ramon, that's funny. I didn't think of that before. People burning gas to get gas. Exactly. That's funny. Oh, Dre, your truck runs on diesel. Yeah, that happens down here with the hurricanes. There's always like, well, I won't say always, but more times than not, there's always diesel left over, but not, the regular gas. So I always say to myself, people with diesels are lucky. Dang, hey boy, you've only been outside a week since December. Oh yeah, but you were in the hospital and all that, so I'm glad you're doing better, like I said. King Ramon, I did hear about that, about Little Reese. Yes, I did. You can come up here and talk about it if you want. Ah, Lady Fresh, not a snotbox. I know you like how guys always come up with real descriptive and disgusting ways to talk about things. Yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for coming. That's right, A boy. I guess it wasn't his time, right? You know what? If you think about it, he's had some close calls too, because remember when he got, oh boy, I don't want to be descriptive. You guys got to know what I'm talking about though. When he was with the female and they cut his dreads off and everything and they videotaped it when they had the gun to his forehead and made him, yeah. But he could have got popped then too. So he's got cat lives. Like I said, shout out to everybody that's here. Thank you, thank you. Pamela, that's a good thought. The water and energy. I don't know if you were in here when I first started, but I was talking about in the military, we knew that the next hit from a terrorist group was going to be something biological, like say COVID, or our power grid, or oil or water. Like you said, they're going to try to contaminate it or stop it, just like what we're seeing, is happening now. And I was talking about how these companies make so much money. I mean, I think I've said this before, where Dubai, which is the biggest place for oil and, gas and everything, that's the richest place in the world. There's a reason for that. I mean, they're making straight bank off of this gas, which we all know I think is stupid, but they do. Um, so if you're making all that money, why would you not make sure that your fucking files are unhackable? Like, I mean, I would have, I don't know, like a big ass room with like those big mother computers that like watch over everything. I mean, I'd have my shit protected. I know that. Yeah, Lady Fresh, they beat him up too. Yes, they did. And that's one of the things, like I said, Pamela, that I was talking about. And if you notice the history in our country and in other places too, I won't just say that it happens with us, but it seems like it takes something bad to happen like this for people to learn, instead of taking precautions to not have it happen. They wait until something bad like this happens, or a lot of people die from something, or what have you, to where they go back and then correct the shit. It's so stupid. Yeah, Pamela, you said the dark web is smarter. Do you know I was watching a special and they've got the dark web and the deep web, right? There's actually two different bad webs, but the regular internet that you and I use all day long, if you can picture an iceberg, the regular internet and all its fuckery is like the tip of that iceberg, what's out of the water. And they said the dark web and the deep web are so big and so effed up that the rest of the iceberg that's always bigger, that's under the water, that's like the deep in the dark web. Like it's like, 100 times bigger than the regular web. And that, like, I was like, holy shit, like that's crazy. Because we always hear about what's going on the, dark web or the deep web, how they've been, you can go on there and get like anything and everything done if you want to. And you could, like, there's scammers on there too, but there are like real, hitmen and like all this other weird shit out there. I even heard that, like, you guys remember the movie Hostel? I heard that they've got that type of shit going on. Like, it's crazy because the government, the military developed the internet. And they can't even control their own invention. You know, you've got that dark web and deep web. You know, it's completely untraceable. Then they came out with the cyber, you know, like Bitcoin and shit, so they can't trace that. And people are just doing the craziest shit. And like I said, there were people that you guys might have heard this, but people would there was a what was it, like a couple years ago when all over YouTube people were trying to dare each other to go on the deep web and record it and all this other crazy shit. Well, they had you know, little sites that you would go to if you were smart enough about it, and you would log on to these sites, and then you would log on to the deep web or the dark web, because this site that you, like a third party site you went through, it would cover your IP address. So if you did get a hacker attached to you or some sort of creepy weirdo, they wouldn't be able to turn on your webcam, or they wouldn't be able to find your address out or trace where you live and all that freaky shit, because people were literally they didn't know this, so they would hop on the dark web and they would go to these weird sites or just fish around, and all of a sudden they would say that like their camera light on their laptop would be on, and then all of it, there'd be a vehicle parked outside their house one day. They'd be getting weird messages like, hey, I know where you live at. A couple of people that I said or I've watched, they were saying that when they came home from work, you know, a couple days after being on the web, their place was robbed. Crazy shit, right? And a couple of the people that went to the police, they literally told them, the police told them, you may as well move because there's nothing we can do. Like the police, they couldn't do, the FBI, all that, they couldn't do shit. They were telling these people to move because they had no way to trace these people. And that scared the shit out of me, right? Like I was like, okay, screw the dark web. I'm not fucking with it. Like I'm good. No ma'am. Because you know, like I said, people were daring each other to go on there, and I mean it's that's crazy. That's just crazy that there's an actual place like that, right? Like the internet itself is so screwed up, but to think that you can go into the depths of hell of the internet and be running around doing whatever, and the cops can't even, you won't get in trouble unless you fuck up, basically. If you leave a footprint and you don't cover your ass, you know, they'll be able to trace it to you. But if you do the right thing and follow the right steps, you can basically be completely anonymous. Like for an example, if say that we all of us right now, say I had another computer and I was like, okay, watch this, guys, I'm gonna get on the dark web, da da da, and I covered my IP. If somebody tried to trace me, it would show up that I was in like the Netherlands or something like that. Like it could, you know, they've got those systems to where it literally will make it look like you're way across the other side of the country. So yeah, that really freaked me out when that happened, though, that the police were just like, well, you know, you got somewhere else to stay. That's horrible. But I don't know why anybody would be going on the damn dark web without covering your IP address in the first place. But I guess. But yeah, so that's where these, you know, hackers are from. And then like I said, their page that they had up is they got rid of it, so it's not even on there anymore. Um but yeah, they definitely threw off the scent. They're, like I was talking about before I was rambling, their statement is very suspect to me. That's only my opinion. I want to, you know, get your guys' opinion on it. But it just seems really fishy to me. Why would they be trying to cover their tracks like that? You know, they're not making a statement like, "Oh, you know, this is why we did this." They're just saying we only did it for money. It's not tied to any government, you know, and look for another motive because it's not the government. That's just so weird. Like what kidnappers do, or kidnappers, but what ransom, who does that? They might try to throw you off the scent, but I don't know. It's real suspect to me. It really is. It's weird. And let me think. I had another question that I wanted to ask you guys. Ooh, that was it. That was it. Okay. Let me see it real quick. Give me a second, guys. I want to see. I want to save this one for last. Uh, okay. Let me ask you guys this, right? Since this happened, and this is a small incident, on the grander scheme of things, do you guys think that it would be better for us to maybe go back to the way it was before the internet? Only with like the oil and the gas company, like not with everything. But the way they used to do things before the internet, right? The pipes weren't ran by a computer, they were ran by people. The whole reason why they switched over was to save money, like they don't make enough in the first place. And it's kind of like you could get hacked, or they should have seen this coming type of thing. Like I said, they're idiots for not having the best what can they're idiots for having all that money. Like, you're supposed to secure the bag. Like, that's stupid to not have the best. Like I said, I would have the best spyware and everything else on my so-called oil business. But I was wondering, right? They used to move all the oil, by people before the internet, when they ended up doing it that way. Do you guys think it would be better if maybe they thought about possibly going back to that? Like, I know a company doesn't want to hire a bunch of people and go back to the way they did it before, but it would never got hacked. If they had kept it the same way and not had relied so much on computers, this wouldn't have happened, and they wouldn't be out, multi-million dollars. So I had thought about that, right? Because if you break it down and say, okay, if we have to hire like so many thousands of employees to do this, like we used to do it back in the day, compared to, all the millions of dollars we just had to pay to these assholes over in Russia, would it be worth it? I would think it would be worth it, because even if they get the best software, right, and they put it on the computer now to try to protect from further hacks, is it really guaranteed that a hacker won't be able to get through it? No. That's what hackers do. They live, breathe, and try to break into shit constantly because, they just want money. Or I've heard, some hackers say that they wanted to hack things. Ooh, the hacker that hacked into, it was one of our president's emails. It was a while ago. He thought if he did that and showed that there was a breach, he would get a job from the US government. But instead, his own country, I can't remember where he's from, his own country ended up putting him in prison. So that backfired. But some hackers do it to try to get a job. The other question that I had, let me see if you guys put stuff. Hold on. Hey, kid. Yes, you're a hot commodity. Pamela, don't feel bad. I'm illiterate when it comes to a lot of internet stuff, too. King Ramon, oh my God. King Ramon said his IP address says he's in the firmament. You're a mess. That's funny, though. Yeah, Pamela, the internet is useful, but it's also the devil. Don't get me started. Because I think the internet is horrible when it comes to like relationships and like all that. I think don't get me started on that. Okay. Hold on a second, guys. I'm going to drop the link just in case somebody wants to come up. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I've got my next question. And I think it's really a serious question, but okay, hold on. That's what made me do this whole story, right? Was because this had popped into my head, and it could be a big possibility. So hold on, guys. I had to come back in. Okay. Ugh, I can't wait till I don't have to do this on the phone. All right, now. The other thing I was thinking of, right, is if they're able, because this is still developing, right? Come on, Pete. Ugh, my dog's getting fat, yo. Okay. She can't even jump up on the couch anymore. I gotta lift her up. That's horrible, right? Okay. um, she's gaining COVID weight. So, all right, how am I gonna? Okay. If they end up tracing this back to the Russian government, right? Because, like I said, they've been able to trace it back already to Russia. But as I was just talking about, the hackers are trying to throw us off, saying that we don't have any affiliation with the government. Look somewhere else. That's not the motive. We just wanted money. That's what they had to say about it. And they disappeared. There has not been any release to tell us where the company, the oil company, sent the money to. I'm pretty sure it was through some sort of cryptocurrency, so they can't trace it. If not, they're idiots. So, like I said, I'm pretty sure it was. So I'm not really counting on that to be a lead. But like I said, when our government gets a wild hair up their ass to try to figure something out, they're going to figure it out. So, it's not going to surprise me if it's the actual government, the Russian government or whatever. Now, and even if it's not somebody in the actual Russian government, what if it's like a spy for Russia that did it? Like it's, they don't have to be actually like tied to the actual government for it to be like a government figure from over there, if you get what I mean. But my whole thing, right, to you guys, this is the thing I was thinking about because it might be a big possibility because I've heard a little bit of whispers about it. Let's see. If we're able to connect it to the Russian government, okay? Maybe more than just an individual, if it's a spy or if it's some sort of person like that. What they're doing and what they did, it's defined as a terrorist act, right? So, since it's defined as a terrorist act that took place over here on our, soil, normally what we do is we go after that terrorist threat, which you guys know, If they're able to trace this to the Russian government, do you guys think that you're going to start seeing, more of our military go over, next to Russia a little bit? Or do you think that we should make our presence known military wise if we do trace it to the Russian government? Because if Russian government really did this, do you guys know how like people will, if you're going to attack someone, right? Before you attack them, if you're smart, you're going to send out like a test. You're going to send a few people out or a few things out to see how this person reacts and what they do before you go at them full force. So if they stop this pipeline and it was 5,000 some miles worth of pipeline and they saw how the whole fucking, we freaked out over here. The media freaked out. People freaked out. Everybody, we're out of gas. We're not even, what do you call it? We don't even have our shit together good enough to where they could fill our gas back up quick enough. So you don't think they're watching this and seeing it, right? So to me, that was a test. And the big thing that they're planning hasn't happened yet, if you get my meaning, right? Because why only take out that small of an area and let the rest of it be perfect and running and everything's okay. You know, if they want to hit us somewhere and they want to hurt us somewhere, they're going to take out a lot more than that. So when I was thinking about it, I was like, "Oh my god, this was probably just a baby test." They're trying to see what would happen if they took a little bit out and how would we react, what our government would do. And then at the same time, you guys probably also know that a lot of terrorist organizations are ran by money, either from people that, people that are rich that fund them or what have you, but a lot of them do illegal activity to fund their shit. So now that they took down that pipeline and the company, the oil company, went against the government and paid them the multi-million dollars, now they've got all that money to just sit around and plan a bigger fucking attack. And if this certain oil company that was in Texas that stretches to, whatever, New Jersey, if they upgrade their shit or say they go back to the old way of doing things, that doesn't mean that the other oil companies in other states are going to do that. They're probably wiping their forehead off like, "Woo, we didn't get hit. It sucks for them, but we're cool." And like I said, unfortunately, our history shows that until something bad happens, people don't prepare for it. They don't do the right thing and put, things into place. This happened with this oil company. These other oil companies are not going to come out of pocket. If they're smart, they will. But I guarantee you, most of them are not going to come out of pocket to try to protect their shit. They're just going to be like, "Okay, we made it. It's cool. We're okay." When, like I said, I'm looking at it, I could be completely off my rocker, but I'm really looking at it like I think that was a test for something bigger. They might not even be planning to hit the oil next time. They might take our power grid out. And if they take our power grid out, like I said, when I was in the military, we used to talk about this. You know how many people would be fucked? Like people, especially like our younger people, they wouldn't know what the fuck to do with themselves without any kind of electricity to run their phone. They would not know how to survive. Like they would, and then when you don't know how to survive, you're going to be robbing people and killing people to try to, like, that shit would be horrible. And if they take our power grid out, and then, okay, I got to tell you guys this too, like I was just kind of talking about, in other countries, we've got like the U.S. Embassy, right? Where if you're in another country and you end up getting in trouble or you get lost or whatever, you can always find a U.S. Embassy and there's, U.S. people in there. So, oh, I don't know if I should tell this. Remember, do you guys, we weren't alive during this. Well, most of us, probably all of us weren't, but do you guys remember hearing about like the Cold War that we had with Russia, where everything was really, really, like, Russia was threatening basically to nuke us and we were threatening to nuke them, I guess. And that's basically all I know about it. I've never researched it. I wasn't interested. But due to that, right, and because the tensions were so high with Russia, we've got things in place that are, let's see. We've got things in place that are kind of pointed towards Russia. I'm going to say that much. So if the shit hit the fan and say that we actually declared war on them, it would be on, because we actually have shit in place from the Cold War that is, still there and operative, that people, are watching and dealing with us every day to keep it operative. We have not trusted them ever since that shit back then. So, it just, I don't see this as a independent hit. I don't. I think it's got something bigger to do with what's going on. I think they see our country in fucking chaos right now. And if an enemy wants to invade or an enemy wants to weaken or hit you, they're going to hit your fucking country when it's at its worst. When everybody's not united, when everybody hates the government, this would be the perfect time for somebody to try to invade us. Honestly, it would. And that's scary as fuck to think about. At least to me it is. Because everybody over here is so fucking backwards right now. I mean, I can't even tell you if we would know how to come together to fight an enemy over here. Because we're so used to not trusting each other. So that shit scared the hell out of me when I was thinking about it earlier. All right, I'm going to read the comments. Exactly, Pamela. Thinking they're safe is a huge mistake. Exactly. Exactly. Yep, Lady Fresh, exactly. Good point to tell people. Yep. Lady Fresh said, you should register with the U.S. Embassy when you travel to certain places. She does when she does. She does when she goes to the Middle East. Exactly. And what that does too, if you go to another country and you register with the U.S. Embassy, say something happens to you, or, you know, they can kind of, they'll have a certain way to know you were there. It's like a footprint, you know. So yes, very good idea. Very good point, Lady Fresh. Very, very good point. Yeah, Lady Fresh, you said there's always a bit. See, that's what I'm thinking. And then Pamela said that she thought about the same thing. See? I'm telling you. Yep. If you wait till something happens, it's too late. Exactly. And that's what, like I said, right now, I mean, I'm honestly going to sit. Okay, when have you guys ever remembered, even if we weren't around, when have you heard? I mean, we've had riots before, you know, we weren't around for like Watts and like, you know, the Detroit riots and stuff, but when I don't think I've ever heard where we've been as weak as we are right now. We've got a pandemic. Our country, you know, the president is, you know what I'm talking about. So like our government is shit. We're in the middle of a pandemic, and then you've got everybody, I mean, going at each other's necks for anything and everything. You know, we can't trust the police, like all the shit that's going on. I don't think it's been this upside down ever. I mean, you know, political stuff has happened, social stuff has happened, but there was never a pandemic on top of it, you know. Like I said, honestly, if I was the enemy of the US, I'd be over there thinking and plotting, because you know, they could hit us. Oh, they could hit us really big right now. They really could. And you know, one of the bragging rights that we always say is we've got the strongest military, you know, in the world. But I will tell you this, if the military isn't, the way our government is right now with like supporting the military and everything else, we don't really have like I don't know how to explain it to you guys. Dang it. I might have to just figure it out and write it down and tell you guys later. But like, okay, damn it, I don't know how to explain it. But if we have a president that really isn't that military orientated, right? And he's not like, oh, if you come over here and fuck with us, we're gonna blow you to smithereens type shit. If you don't have a president like that, which everybody even says that, you know, our president can't even remember what he had for breakfast. I don't know if that's true, that's allegedly, but I'm just saying, you know, your military is gonna kind of lose, you know, they're not gonna be as gung-ho as they normally would. Because you know, that's your, oh god, I don't know, you guys probably know what I'm trying to say, but if your own military isn't secure in what's going on with your president and your government, that's horrible. You know, that's not good, because then you get, you know, your military isn't, they don't feel secure with their own country. So if something happens and we get ordered to go somewhere and we're like, oh, this isn't even the right reason, or we should be over here and not over there, and we're questioning what's going on, that shit's going to backfire and be horrible. That's not good. Like, you cannot have a weak military, you can't have a weak government, you can't have, you know, a weak you know, us as civilians now, we can't be weak. Like everything right now is either upside down, weak as fuck, disconnected. It's just shitty. And I don't know why the media and the people like us are more concerned in running out of fucking gas than we are about the bigger picture. Because, you know, like I said, I think this was a test. I think it was a test to see how we were going to react and how easy it was to get, you know, one of these companies to give them millions of dollars, and they did it. So now they've got all this millions of dollars to just sit back and, you know, upgrade their fucking spyware shit, their hacking crap, all that up. Watch what happens, I'm telling you. If I'm telling you, because all these other oil companies, they're not going to upgrade their shit. And our power grid is what do you call it, is defenseless too, because that's never been hit. That sucks. I agree, Pamela. I agree. And when you've got every man for themselves, right? And you have no kind of structure, no kind of you know, rules or anything, that's when shit gets bad. Yep. You're right. Lady Fresh, exactly. Distractions. Oh, good, Pamela. So you do know about registering? Good for you. But yeah, that's just, and that's basically the stuff that I wanted to come on and talk about. I just wanted to, because the actual story is boring as shit, right? Because nobody cares about this multi-million-dollar oil company. We don't care. We just want to go to the gas pump and get gas. I don't give a shit. But when I started thinking about it, I was like, and I found out that they had paid the ransom. I was like, oh God. Because that's like rule number one. You never ever pay the ransom. Like if it's a baby kidnapping or, you know what I mean, something like that, then yeah. But if you're talking about terroristic, you know, issues and millions of dollars, like you just don't do that. Because say that they don't even have a bigger plan, right? And it wasn't attached to the government. Say that that was, it really wasn't, and these people just wanted to get a payday. Okay, cool. That's the best case scenario in my book, right? I hope that it was some, you know, geeky kid in a basement somewhere, and now he's got so much money he doesn't know what to do with. I hope so. I really do. But even if it's that scenario, because this company paid these millions of dollars to this, you know, whoever it is, that's going to cause other hackers in other places, even, you know, where this happened, to say, ooh, that's a come up like a motherfucker, right? All I got to do is, you know, brush up on my freaking dark web skills and hack, you know, whatever in the hell over in the US, and I'm going to get paid. All I got to do is make sure it's not linked to the US government and it's a civilian company. I'm going to get paid, because if, you know, that's how I would look at it if I was over there. I'd be like, okay, cool. So, you know, if I take out this or if I take out this, they're going to lose this amount of money a day. And, you know, and like I said, they don't even have to do anything. You're literally in a building or a room with a computer, and it's all encryption. You're basically stealing files and encrypting them so the business can't even, you know, read their own shit, or their computer malfunctions like it did where it shut down the pipeline, to where, you know, their whatever it is can't function. And it's not something you think about, all the people freaking out. Think if that would have lasted for a month. So that company's thinking like, oh shit, we've got to get, you know, we got to get our, you know, our files back, because we're losing so much money a day and people are freaking out, you know, so they bent under pressure. But like I said, I think we might, hopefully not, but we might end up seeing why our government doesn't negotiate with the terrorists, even if it's, you know, us over there. Say that you are over there working, you get kidnapped, they're not going to negotiate, even if your family has the money, because they know it will just start a string of a domino effect, you know? I don't know. But yeah, I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about it because I wanted to get that out and see if I was like losing my shit and being nuts thinking that, or if it was maybe an actual thing. So, but how's everybody's Saturday going? Did anybody hear about anything besides Reese getting his butt kicked? Anything else interesting happen? I don't think I really heard of much except for that. I think that was probably the only thing I really heard about. Oh, darn it. I did. There was an update too. Oh, man. On one of the stories I did. Oh, boy. Which one was it? I know that the 2-year-old in Las Vegas that was found murdered that I told you guys about a couple days ago, where the boyfriend got arrested. That's what the update was. Okay. Um, he's arrested and he's in jail, of course. They said that they're not sure if they're going to bring charges on the mother because they've got to make sure they have evidence of something against her. And remember, she was out of state, so I don't know if she's going to be charged yet or not, but everybody's bitching and saying that she should be. And I know that the sheriff had responded to people saying that if they don't have evidence proving anything, that she did wrong, legally they can't arrest her. Now, even if even if we know it was wrong as shit of her to leave her baby with this guy she only knew for 3 months, and everything else, it might be morally wrong, but it's not legally wrong. So unless they can find something on her, legally, she's gonna walk away. And that's kind of screwed up because, like I said, I think if you don't protect your child like you're supposed to, which I don't think that she did at all, then she should go to jail, period. But the update on that was, I think I had mentioned how one of the detectives had said that they thought maybe the boy had had an accident and the boyfriend got upset and like beat him to death. Because when they found the boy, the 2-year-old, he was in like soiled clothing, but they didn't know if that was from, the body after you pass away or if that was, beforehand. Well, today they did an update and they did say that between what the boyfriend is saying in a statement and what they found with the autopsy and the clothing and everything else, they found blood in the room that they were living in too. And soiled clothing there also. Allegedly now they're saying that the 2-year-old had multiple accidents, I guess, throughout that day or that night. I don't know how many multiple is, but when the boyfriend got upset about this, I don't know why. It's a 2-year-old. I mean, put him in a diaper, put him in a pool. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't know. So apparently the boyfriend got, fed up with the shit and beat him to death. They said he had some pretty horrific injuries. We don't, they haven't listed what injuries exactly, but yeah, I can't imagine beating a fucking 2-year-old to death because he peed on himself. Like, you got to be a special kind of piece of shit to do something like that. You really do. Like, that's horrible. But yeah, so that was kind of a little bit of an update on that. So it is what they did think, that he beat him. That's so bad. I think if you kill a child like that and it's proven, like you go through all the appeals and all this and that, and your DNA is everywhere and you admit to it and they like know it's you should just get the death penalty, period. In a child case like that. I don't know. That's how I'm feeling right now. because I feel so bad for that poor baby. I can't imagine. You're already sad being a 2-year-old that your mom's gone, right? And you're stuck with this dude that you probably don't already like, even though you're 2, because he's only been around for 3 months. And can you imagine the poor? That is just so horrible to think about. He probably was so scared. That's just so sad. Like I said, throw him under the prison. I hope he gets raped every day he's in there. Who said that? I said what I said. I don't think I had any other updates on anything. Oh, shout out to Kid Murray, Mob Ties. Thank you for the Cash App. Thank you, thank you. Trying to think. I've got some other stuff to talk about, but I'll probably do. I know, right, Pamela? Isn't that so sad? Like when you think about it, like I wouldn't, like I said, I don't know if you guys caught that the other day when I was talking about it, but I wouldn't leave my fucking dog with somebody I knew for 3 months. I don't want to leave my dog at a doggy daycare thing, let alone with somebody that. Oh my god, that is just so. And what's so weird is like I said, I don't know if the mom's in shock or if she's just slow or what. But every interview I've seen with this woman, and she's like, I haven't seen her cry one tear yet. I haven't even, she isn't even, you know how some people will like, they're usually the killers and they're being interviewed, like if it's a girl and they end up killing a kid or whatever, and they're like, I don't know what happened to it, you know, da, 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 they just disappeared. They'll at least have a tissue in their hand and fake cry. She hasn't even been fake crying. I thought at first maybe it was because she didn't know because they hadn't found the body, so maybe she didn't think he was dead because, you know, boyfriend was saying that the baby's daddy's sister came and got him. So I was like, "Oh, well, maybe she's not that sad because she thinks he's still alive, you know?" But now that they found the boy's body and he was beaten, you know, to death and all that, why are you not crying? What the fuck is wrong with you? And knowing that you're the reason this fucking happened. It's not like the boyfriend was like, "Oh, hey, you're gonna go out and okay, babe, just leave the baby with me. Oh, okay, cool, bye." He didn't say that because she even said on the one interview they were arguing about it because the boyfriend was like, "Why wouldn't you take him with you?" You know, he. Uh, that's why, like, I mean, she should be held, you know, responsible for that. You know that he didn't want to keep that baby, and you basically left and made him keep that baby. And the cause of your actions killed your child. So your stupid ass should be in jail right along with the killer. Because think about it, right? If that baby wasn't left with him, would he have killed it? No. He would have been doing whatever he was going to be doing. So she's the cause of all of that shit. That's crazy to think about. It's crazy when I talk to you guys sometimes, right? When you talk about things out loud, I'll think of stuff, right? And I'll be like, "Oh, that sounds crazy." Like you don't think about it until you're talking about it out loud. But yeah, I feel so bad for that baby. I really do. And unfortunately, child abuse is very, very, very rampant. That's like when I was talking about the women. Like have you guys heard about how can I say this so it's not long? But have you guys heard about what happened in Texas with the baby's father and the baby mother's boyfriend at all? Because I'm gonna do a story about that tomorrow. And my ladies in the chat, you guys better show up. And I want some people to come up on the panel tomorrow too, because I want to get people's opinion on that. That's going to be a good one. And I'm going to do it during the day so then people can, you know, come up. I know it's late, so But I'm going to be doing that because that's kind of a crazy, that's a crazy thing that happened, right? Ooh. But I'm just going to do a short live, guys. If nobody has any questions or anything else, I just kind of wanted to get, your opinion on it and tell you guys I was kind of worried about it when I was thinking about it. Like I said, that I think that was a test run to see how we were going to react. And, our country is really dismantled and upside down right now. And if we were going to get hit, now would be the time. So just be on top of your shit, guys. I'll tell you that much. But I will say one thing with all the veterans that are, civilians now and everything, and how we're spread out all over everywhere, and how we've got, even civilians that, wouldn't accept people coming over here and invading. Like, if anybody did try to invade us, I'll tell you one thing, they'd have, we'd probably give their, how would I say it? We would probably hand their balls to them, if that if I said that right. Because I want somebody, right, to try to come to my house after invading the country and try to talk about some, like having a war over here, like I don't think it would fly. Like, I think there's enough of us to ward them off, but you never know. Yeah, I don't want to think about it anymore. I get it off my chest. Okay. So thank you everybody, like I said, for coming in and listening to me. Shout out to Murph, shout out to King Ramon, Lady Fresh, Dre, Laura, A-Boy, Roy, Fresh Brown, Pamela, of course, Kid Murray. And thank you, Pamela and Lady Fresh, for being active with talking in the comments back and forth with me. Thank you, thank you. And thank you guys for being here tonight. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow, okay? And if you guys think of any questions, like I always say, right? If you think of any questions or anything about like what I talked about in past shows, shoot them to me and I will figure them out and answer them. But everybody have a wonderful rest of, well, it's Sunday now where I'm at. So, but have a wonderful rest of your night and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, everyone.